war is coming. Where will the blow fall first? Asks Malcolm Nance over on his Substack newsletter, malcolmnance.substack.com. And I was completely unaware of this, and I consume a mind-boggling amount of media. And this is, I mean, he writes, the Trump regime quietly, and apparently incredibly quietly, started moving about 1/3 of America's strategic bomb force from its home base in Missouri to a secret remote airstrip in the middle of the Indian Ocean called Diego Garcia. In late March, a mass of U.S. Air Force in-flight refueling tankers were seen staging all across the Pacific Ocean from California. This indicated that an air armada was being formed and needed nonstop in-flight refueling. Within a day, 6 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers were detected landing at Diego Garcia in the middle of the Indian Ocean. So where would you bomb from Diego Garcia? Turns out, Iran. Trump sent a letter to Iran's supreme leader, writes Malcolm Nance, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, demanding they stop developing nuclear weapons and return to the negotiating table. Iran rejected that proposal out of hand, quoting the Signal app scandal, noting that Trump's cabinet says one thing in public while plotting something else in private. So here we are. Trump, of course, famously blew up the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, back in 2017. And Nance notes that Netanyahu has likely convinced Trump that now is the time to strike the Iranian nuclear weapons program once and for all, which is why we're positioning these B-52s. And then he goes on to add the U.S. just deployed over 100 additional combat aircraft to the theater to support an attack. He also ordered the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson to depart its deployment in Asia and head at top speed to the Arabian Gulf. It's going to arrive in about 2 weeks. And when it does, all the pieces will be in place for what could be the beginning of World War III.
2 minutes.
He writes, if this attack is carried out, the entire Middle East will be set on fire. Iran has some options, and one of them is to strike Saudi Arabia, which is our ally. The Iranians would also shut the Gulf, you know, between the little choke point between Iran to the north and Oman to the south, stopping all fuel trade out of the Gulf. So you could see the price of oil go to $150, $200 a barrel overnight, which would give us, you know, $10, $15 a gallon gasoline. I mean, you know, this, and then J.D. Vance visited the U.S. Space Force base in Putvik, Greenland, with his wife Usha, and said, our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. This has to change. And Trump explicitly did not rule out military force against Greenland. Now, it looks like he's actively preparing for an assault, for a strike on Iran. And, you know, the Iranians are no dummies, and they control a lot of proxies, you know, around the Middle East, and this will be a real mess. But he's also suggested that he might, you know, park an aircraft carrier off the coast of Greenland and say, this is ours now. You know, Putin can take Ukraine, we can take Greenland, which, of course, would cause Xi to say, well, then I can take Taiwan, right? And then, depending on how and who responds, like I said, we could be in the middle of World War III. This could be a real mess. And you'll recall, I mean, you know, I've talked before about Strauss and Howe and how they point out every 80 years you have a depression followed by a war. You know, in 1871, you had a great crash that was followed by, 1771, that was followed by 1776 and, you know, our war with England. 80 years later, we had the crash of 1856 here in the United States, a widespread depression that led straight to the Civil War in the 1860s. 80 years later, we had the Republican Great Depression followed by World War II. And it's now been 80 years since the end of World War II. So get ready. Meanwhile, a Trump critic and Nobel Peace Prize winner just got his U.S. visa revoked. I'll tell you about that after the break, and I'll pick up your calls. Stay with us. It's the Thom Hartmann Program, defending America from the weapons of mass deception. Stay with us.